The reason I'm making this video is because when my dog was really young, I want to say like between 4 to 6 months, he got attacked in a public space by 2 off-leash dogs. He was on leash. He was obviously shooken up from the situation, but he didn't show any different behavior signs or any kind of anxiety from the situation. And he's 2.5 now, so that over 2 years ago that happened. So I used to not be able to talk about it without tearing up. I got a little teary right here, but all of these tips in this video and all of the content in this video have helped me tremendously to lessen my anxiety and be a more aware dog owner. And I want to share them all. I want to share everything that I have learned and practiced and just developed with you, so you can feel more confident, you can be more aware, more prepared when you take your dog out into a public space. After all, it's the most fun going out into public spaces with your dog, going out and exploring the world. That's what your dog wants. That's what life is all about, and having a dog is all about. So instead of being scared doing that, yeah, I just want to prepare you for that and make you more aware and more conscious and just have those tools in your pocket so you don't have to be afraid. The first tip I have for you is confidence. It goes right through the leash, from your hand all the way to his collar. If you are confident while handling your dog is going to be more confident, hands down. Regardless of the situation, you need to be confident as a dog owner. Even if you're scared shitless, you portray to your dog that you are confident, everything's going to be okay. I guarantee that he is going to be more confident. If you're scared or frightened, your dog is going to feel scared or frightened, and that just elevates the situation much more than it needs to be. It makes things much worse. But just practice being confident and communicate that with your dog, and any situation is going to be 10 times better. Tip number 2 is to go with your gut instinct. If it feels bad, 99% of the time, it is bad. I found after more than one unpleasant experience, if I just walk the other way, because it's not worth it to me. I've had one too many bad experiences. I'm not going to put my dog through that. When I say it's not worth it to me, it's not worth putting my dog through a shitty experience. Like, we're just going to turn around, walk the other way. Go with your gut instinct, be confident. A lot of these tips I'm going to give you kind of like ebb and flow with each other, so if I repeat myself, I apologize. If it feels bad, 99% of the time, it is bad. Tip number 3 is to be aware of your surroundings. To me personally, this sounds like common sense. If you know there's a specific place or a field or an area where there's a lot of dogs off the leash, or a certain time of day, or a certain place or a certain day of the week, there's just situations you don't want to be around, then avoid it. There's a field by my house. There's a certain lady and a dog that are always in this field at the same time every single day. And I think, let me see, it was probably like 2 or 3 times her dog off the leash in the field where he's not supposed to be. Let me say this if I haven't said this already or made this clear already. I do not believe there are any bad dogs. I just believe there are bad dog owners. And that is my personal opinion. This specific dog had come up to my dog. The lady's like on her cell phone, not giving 2 shits about her dog. Just an overall real piece of shit human, in my opinion. I can see like a certain part of the path that I go. I can see if that dog is there now, and if he is, then I just turn around and go the other way. So being aware of my surroundings. Here's an example of not like an off-leash dog. A lot of wildlife. Now my dog is really, well, he's getting better. He's a good boy. We've been practicing a lot. But he used to be really triggered by movement. So chipmunks, squirrels, bunnies, deer. So I'm just constantly aware of my surrounding when we're hiking, so I can always have that opportunity to train him around different movement. So that's one example. Another example of being aware of your surroundings would be someone who doesn't have like the best control of their dog. I'm hesitant to say this because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to tell if the dog is like out of control or aggressive. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can clearly tell if the dog is aggressive or the handler doesn't have very good control. But just being aware, if you see that in front of you on the path, or if you see that in front of you out in public space, maybe cross the road, maybe turn around, maybe go where your dogs can't like see each other. Just being aware of your surroundings, no matter where you are. You know, being 5 steps ahead of your dog and then 10 steps ahead of all of the idiot dog owners and other fur babies out there. So be aware of your surroundings, use your common sense. If it feels wrong, it probably is wrong, and be confident, okay? Okay, so tip number 4 is to learn and to understand dog behavior. I personally think that this is probably the most important tip that you can take away from this video for yourself and for your dog. The safest thing you can learn. Just understanding dog behavior can make many situations less anxiety ridden. It can help you avoid a lot of situations. Maybe like that dog on the opposite side of the street who's barking or seems reactive or aggressive is maybe not aggressive. Maybe he's just reactive, or he's not confident, or he's not being handled correctly. Let me say, for example, if you're walking your dog and then there's another person and then they want your dog to meet on the leash, which is like, which is probably not the best thing to do, but like I have stated in the beginning of this video, I'm not a dog trainer, a dog behaviorist, a veterinarian, any of that, but you know, it happens a lot. People's dogs meet on the leash. I personally don't like to do that with I don't do that with my dog anymore. I have done it in the past before, but I try really hard not to do that. And like I said, I try to, like I said, advocate for your dog, and you know, maybe I've had before. It makes me cringe a little bit, but you know, at the end of the day, I have to advocate for my dog and be his advocate, because he can't. One time I was walking at a park and the lady was like, "Oh, is he friendly?" Like about my dog. My dog is very friendly, very social. And I said, "Yes, but I don't even know what I said." I was like, "Yeah, he is, but I'm like training him or something," which I was. And then like I felt like weird about it, and I felt like she got like a little weird. But you know what? Fuck that. Don't let anybody bully you into anything that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether it is right or wrong to introduce your dogs on the leash, if you don't want to that day for whatever reason, then don't do it. So, for example, if you decide to have your dogs meet on the leash, and you notice like, "Hi baby, he's a good boy," like the other dog's lip curling, or the dog's getting tense, or whatever the behavior is that is showing that he does not want to be in that situation. You know, you understand dog behavior, so then you're like, "Bam, let's get out of the situation." Because if you didn't understand dog behavior, that could turn really nasty really fast. So, you know, insert whatever situation that you want, whatever space you're in, public space you're in. Understanding dog behavior is going to keep your dog safe, keep other people's dogs safe, and it's going to help you avoid a lot of confusion, confrontation, and all of the fun stuff that comes with being a dog parent. So, tip number 5 is to take your dog outside or in these public spaces during off times. Going during the week is a great time to avoid all the crazy, but if you can't do that, obviously, go earlier in the morning or later at night. Sometimes that might vary where you live. At certain times, like I thought maybe a lot of people would be out. They're not out because either they're eating dinner or they're driving their kids to school. It's very religious where I live. So on Sundays, there's like virtually nobody out, like between certain times of the day. Just be aware of like who's out and about and at what times, and get creative with it. I personally think it's best to go at like off times, just because I like being by myself and having like you know, the space to myself and less people. It's like the kind of person that I am. I like quiet, less trafficked areas. It's just more peaceful for me and my mind and my dog. But go outside during off times if you can. Are you coming here? Oh, you are! Hi, Chicken Nugget. You come here? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Come here. Oh! Are you a good boy? Oh, okay. You don't like that. You don't want me to kiss you. Okay. I know. You want to go out. We're gonna go out. Just a little bit, okay? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. To find less trafficked or secluded areas. Now, I talked about this a little bit in the last video that I did, but getting creative with where you are taking your dog, where you're walking your dog, like this is like I find like one of the like most fun things about having a dog is just exploring and finding like different areas that you maybe like wouldn't otherwise find if you didn't have a dog to do it with. For example, it's the middle of the summer and you're at a hiking trail and there's like the main trail and there's like 100,000,000 people walking and everyone's got a dog. Maybe going on like the non-marked trails. Obviously being safe about it, you know, that goes without saying, but sometimes going like on those unmarked trails, people don't want to go on them because one, they're like usually pretty like intense, like a more intensive workout, and two, people just, I don't even know why. Maybe people just don't even like think to go on them. But we've found literally so many freaking good spots going off the beaten path again, like my favorite dog trainer has said, like Uncle Stoney has told us. We found so many good spots like where I can take him and we can play with the chucket and there's virtually nobody around. Dead of the summer, he can have all the fun he wants in the water. To me, it's a lot more peaceful. Tip number 7 is to advocate for your dog. Okay. Now I feel like this goes hand in hand with being confident, and also like I touched on before, there's a lot of idiots out in the world and a lot of idiots that own dogs. Sometimes you're gonna come across some of these idiots, unfortunately. First of all, don't let other dogs bully your dog. Second of all, don't let other people bully you. If you come across an asshole, is to, this is probably kind of petty, but you know, I found that it works and it makes me feel better. Like as a highly sensitive person, I can like read other people very easily. What I found that helps me is to talk to your dog and like talk to their dog kind of, and just ignore the idiot. That's pretty much it. I personally don't like confrontation. I would probably safe to say that a lot of people do not like confrontation, but there are some that do. So if you can avoid it, go ahead and avoid it would be my, you know, best advice to you. But if you can't, you know, you stand up for your dog. Stand up for your dog, stand up for yourself. Don't take shit from anybody. Yeah, and it'll all be good. Tip number 8 is to be one with the dogs. I mean, it's simple as that. Put yourself in the shoes or the paws of the dog. I'm gonna give you an example. So one of the places that I go to hike often, a lot of dogs are off leash at this park that I go to hike at often. Yeah, it used to really bother me, but then after like some reflection, I thought to myself, majority of dogs that I come across when I'm hiking that are off leash are happy, they're chilling, they're living their best life. And more often than not, my dog becomes friends with those dogs and they get like a playtime. Sometimes we'll end up hiking with that person for like an hour, 30 minutes. That's why it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, because usually like the vibes are pretty good and the dog's happy, the humans are happy. It's not really as bad as you may think it is. So that's just something I thought I would share with you that really has helped me kind of calm like my anxiety and chill out somewhat. So yeah, that's a really like positive example. But maybe like a not so positive example would be somewhere where there's like a lot of tourist shops and a lot of people walking on the sidewalk. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of cars. There's a lot of sniffs, a lot of new sniffs, a lot of new people. Well, that'd be a situation where it'd be like a high anxiety situation. Like the vibes wouldn't be so good. Like, yeah, so just any situation you're in is putting yourself in the shoes of your dog. And I think if you do that, you will have a lot less anxiety about taking your dog into public spaces. Tip number 9 that I have for you is to have some kind of self-defense. You know, the world is a scary place, and not only like other dogs and people. My dog and I go to places where there are coyotes and other different forms of wildlife. So you want to have that protection, whether it's pepper spray, a knife, or a gun, or whatever it is that you carry with you, just in case you need it, because you don't want to be caught, you know, with your pants down. Learn different ways to maybe scare off those animals, whether it's like clapping or yelling or throwing a rock or an object towards like a coyote, for example. I've been hiking, and you know, I wasn't really trying to like have my dog meet up with another dog. Like I said before, if you don't want your dog to meet with that other dog, even if it is a good situation, good vibes, in like an environment where you're hiking and everyone's happy, I don't even remember what the situation was. I just didn't want my dog to meet. I think we're like in a hurry or something, and we're trying to get like a hike in. But you know, what did I do? Dog was kind of coming up, and like, you know, the humans were, I don't know, freaking 5 miles down the trail. So I just kind of like, you know, was super confident, you know, pointed and told the dog to, said go home or go back or something, like very firmly and confidently. And that has happened to me a couple times before, and he did. Let's see, that happened at the dog park one time. There was a dog that I felt personally he was kind of bullying my dog, and he started getting a little bit, a little rough and a little like grumbly, and it pissed me off, and I felt like it was about to escalate. So I just like clapped and like said, hey, like, you know, cut the shit, knock it off, like at him and my dog. And that dogs can sense who the alpha is, and they can sense like confidence in humans, and you know, he listened to me and he didn't bother my dog again. Just taking all these tools and these tips that I'm giving you, and you know, applying them. A lot of them can apply to like, you know, several different situations. So tip number 10 that I have for you is to talk to people. Like other dog parents, you know, they get it. They understand what it's like to be a dog parent, and I've learned a lot of things from other dog parents that I otherwise probably would never have even thought of. Being a lot like calmer, having a very like peaceful demeanor. I've learned a lot from some of my friends hiking, and you know, kind of just like letting my dog be a dog has really like calmed my anxiety. And your veterinarian, you can learn a lot from them. They have a lot of really good resources, and they should be able to answer a lot of your questions or concerns, or you know, be able to refer you to, you know, maybe a dog trainer or like a doggy daycare or whatever it is you're looking for. And dog trainers. He went to puppy training school, and just recently he did like a distractions class, and I have found that dog trainers are like a wealth of information. You know, I personally think you should take like bits and pieces from, you know, your personal experiences with your dog, who you are as a person, who your dog is as a person, from your veterinarian, from, you know, different dog trainers, like, and I think most importantly, like what works best for your dog, because, you know, for example, one dog trainer is going to say something, but, you know, it might not actually work with your dog. And yeah, just to take what works for your dog, be creative with it, and just keep practicing. And like lastly, if you feel like super anxious and like it's preventing you from taking your dog like into public places, then you should seek talking to like a therapist or like a mental health professional, because maybe it's probably time then, you know, maybe to like rework your brain, or, you know, work on yourself so then you can be like the best version that you can be for your dog. If you have any tips maybe, or advice or tools that maybe would help other people out there in the community, go ahead and share them in the comments down below, and we can get like a really healthy, positive conversation flowing. At the very least, I hope that you can take something positive from this video that will not only impact your life, but will impact your dog's life. Okay, until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.